mean, I tell you what, even the jobs that paid me nothing, like when I was first learning them, it was like, all right, I can do this. You just need somebody to get the plates and make them go from here to here. I can be the master of that. I was really into that, and I can do that. But after a while, it's like, you guys treat me like shit, and I get the plates from here to here every fucking time, and you talk down to me and shit. What's going on?
Jesus,
you're counting my lunches. Like, you're looking at what I'm eating. You're like figuring out when I'm going out to smoke. Like, all of a sudden, you're in my shit. But all you said you wanted from me was the plates to go from here to here, and I'm getting the plates from here to here.
God, that was the most accurate representation of how I feel when I get a job. At first, I'm helpless. I'm a little baby. I'm sucking off the tea to the manager to tell me what I need to do. You know, I don't want to, my wings aren't fully formed yet. And then once I learn what I'm doing, I'm like, you know, y'all could treat me a lot better for this. I deserve a lot more for this.
Wow, this is some bullshit right here. Now that you kicked me out of the nest and I'm flying through the sky and trying to flap my wings here, I don't think you're giving me enough.
I don't like this
You
at
didn't
all.
set me up right.
Oh my God, have you heard the news? Kids are dying of Kratom.
That's not true.
They're injecting it into their veins.
I don't think that's happening.
An ABC Action News exclusive. A mom says a popular herb killed her son.
The most recent death happened in early June. Kratom, also known as metrogenine, was one of 4 drugs blamed for his death.
This was like the devil's drug.
It really is just a green powder that makes people feel better.
Yeah, it's a leaf. It grows from the ground, you smash it up, you make a tea out of it, you throw it down the back of your throat, you eat some capsules, and you feel better, your mind's clear. And most people that use Kratom don't have access to healthcare or prescriptions or any of that regular medicine stuff. They get it from local stores or online.
Let's do an example here. You're a young person. You don't understand how all this works, so let me explain this to you. When you get hurt in your older age, let's say you're 34, you work on a roof, you fall off, and you crush your fucking heel, right? It's all shattered. The doctor 10, 15 years ago was like, that's fucked up, that really hurts. You're gonna need some opioids to kill that pain. And then the DEA says, no, you can't have those anymore. These doctors have to tighten up their prescriptions. And now you don't have any, you can't afford them. What do? You can take Kratom. It has the same effects, it's less addictive, and it's more gross. So that even brings down the use. You're not gonna use it as much. Kratom kills the pain in your body. It also cures social anxiety.
The government's solution to stuff like this is always prohibition, which means putting more people in jail.
How big is your appetite for the war on drugs? I'm sure it's small. It's shrinking every single day. Don't let them continue it. Don't let them outlaw more stuff.
Good point.
Thank you. You know, you probably hear people constantly talking about this horrible thing called capitalism.
I have.
Yeah, you've heard that?
Yes.
You're like, what? How does capitalism affect me? I will tell you, it runs your entire fucking life. You've probably heard of socialism or communism. Communism. And they say, they try to control your entire life. Your whole day is taken away from you. What control do you have over your day now?
Most people have to be chained to a desk for 40 hours a week, and they're not allowed to leave.
When you wake up in the morning and you feel like shit and you have to wipe the sleep from your eyes and like look around and be like, why does this have to happen this early in the morning? That's a capitalism.
And it controls everything, like your healthcare, your education. It all comes down to making money, but some things just don't make money. Honestly, ask yourself, how afraid are you of getting an injury and how that could possibly fuck up your life?
Yeah, you're being stopped from skateboarding, breakdancing, doing anything fun, because if you get injured, you're fucked forever. You can't go to work.
And so then you have all these people that say, well, we can make a kinder capitalism, a more conscious capitalism. It isn't gonna fucking happen. We need anarchy, we need socialism, we need communism, we need anything but more capitalism.
But wait, Brett, when you go to the grocery store, you have almost unlimited choice. You can buy 100 different types of cereals.
all made from the same stuff with different graphics on the outside.
All corn. It's basically just a bunch of boxes of corn.
That's capitalism.
It actually treats about 1% of the population like humans, and the rest of us like tools for those superhumans. You don't have any money, your bank account's low? I know where the money is. Jeff Bezos has it, the Waltons have it.
And they took it from us, right?
They took it from us.
We're just getting our money back.
Yeah, your work made that money. You deserve that money. That's your money. The 1% has never decided to do the right thing. That's why we have to take power and just spread it out among the 100% of people that exist.
Before we commence expelling this ghost from this location.
Hey, Street Fighters, what the fuck is up? How y'all doing? Having a good night? Wednesday. We're a little bit earlier than usual, but we are here to do the show, the basement show that started almost 10 years ago here in Columbus, Ohio. We wanted to create dissent and disruption to challenge the authority in this city. And we took our lonely little show onto the community radio of WCRS, and we spread that message far and wide. And we've now found ourselves in a wonderful position to finally start looking out for each other and standing up for ourselves and creating a new community that includes all of us and excludes the ones that take advantage and beat us. So welcome to the show. My name is Brett Payne. My co-host is Brian Quinby. We're Street Fight Radio, the #1 anarcho-comedy radio show on any station across the nation. All jokes, folks. That's all we're doing here every single Wednesday and Sunday night. That's when there's a street fight. You can find us on Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube if you want to watch and chat along. On Sunday nights, we're taking calls. At this point, it's probably just going to be more protest stuff until we get what we want. We're working on getting rid of the bosses so we won't have to worry about you complaining anymore. So that's something to look forward to. You can call us on Sunday night, 9 p.m. to midnight Eastern Standard Time. And also, if you're a creative and you want to contribute to the Street Fight zine, head to streetfightradio.com. At the very top on the menu, there is a zine submission page. We're looking for parenting, advice, and information, articles, artwork, whatever it is. Tell us what you got. There's all kinds of suggestions for zines in the future, like metal and staying inside, which we're not doing very much of these days, but we have a lot of things planned in the future. If you want to support the show and what we do, head to patreon.com/streetfightradio. I do want to let everybody know that 10% of our Patreon, that's $1,323, went split amongst like a dozen bail bonds: Columbus, Minneapolis, Seattle, and Nashville, and other places, but we did miss Iowa, and one of my favorite listeners, Justin Comer, one of our best listeners, lives in Iowa and wants to make sure that those people get taken care of as well. So I'll put those links out there. Please help out with the Iowa Bail Fund. They're kind of slipping through the cracks. Brian, how you doing?
I'm great as you can be. I mean, you know, it's weird. I've been wanting this to happen for we've been doing Street Fight for 9 years, probably 10 years, I would say. Yeah, I probably got that left bug about a year before we actually started Street Fight. I would say maybe 6 months. It wasn't long before I actually just started Street Fight. And you could go back and listen to my radicalization happen over 9 years. And like, this is something that, you know, I saw this happen in 2011. It wasn't an election year, and it wasn't as big. And it was run by a bunch of dipshits. So this one is refreshing to me. And I'm very happy that people are being heard. Not very happy that they're being beat up, because personally, in my opinion, not getting beat up or arrested is better than getting beat up or arrested.
I agree.
There's so many fucking white people on Facebook that are like,
Talking to the mic.
it's right there.
Mm-hmm.
Am I not talking into the mic?
Fine to me.
Okay. I'm trying.
Okay.
There's so many like white people on Facebook and stuff like that who think that like Martin Luther King went out and was like, oh, I hope a cop bashes me over the head with a fucking stick so that then people can see how bad the cops are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's not like what they were doing there. They were like, I would prefer to not get hit in the head with a stick by the police.
But they also have a high school understanding of history, and that's what we are brainwashed by the American public school system to believe. That's what's taught in history classes. You know, what's illuminating to me is I was watching the Today Show, and there was this roundtable discussion about like, where are the leaders, who's stepping up, where is the MLK, where is the Malcolm X, and it's like, we don't need that. There's actually hundreds of them out there. Every time I go down there, I see a new leader, somebody that tells that gets in front of the march and leads chants and tells people what to do. And I see people organizing supply stations. I see medics and strikers, and I see everybody. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. We need one person to tell everybody what to do. Everybody seems to be there on themselves. Like, everybody's there for themselves. We don't need to be talked down to anymore.
I really think that, like, the way this thing is running in Columbus right now, at least, I can't speak for any other place, but like, this thing feels like it's being done exactly the right way to me.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, obviously there are things happening that people don't really want happening, and like, getting beat up by the police sucks, and like, I personally, Brian Quinby, do not give a shit about broken windows or burnt things. I don't care. You know, I think it's rebuilt. Perfectly valid form of what we're doing right now. But, you know, I also understand the side where it's like, maybe we shouldn't do that.
Yeah. I mean,
you know, like, I get that part of that too, but you can't stop every single person from doing something. And I think a lot of stuff happens outside of the protests anyway. Like, it was like when we had Lacey from The Garden call in, she said somebody kicked the window in down the street. She's like, it wasn't with the protest. It was somebody who was walking by and figured, hey, I can kick a window in because there's a protest happening.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of people that are organizing and doing the smart thing and pulling a heist, you know, like we all want to do. Every movie we watch every year, there's a big heist movie. So there's a lot of people pulling that off. But, you know, it's absolutely ridiculous, and it's an unnecessary part of the conversation. People are acting with respect. People just want to be able to walk in the streets whenever and however they want and make the traffic move to the side and make everybody get out of the way so that we have our opportunity to make ourselves heard. And oh, shit. I lost it. I forgot what I was going to say.
Well, yeah, I don't want to come off like I'm like talking shit about people breaking windows. I literally fucking don't care about these windows.
But it's when you're doing that, people get mad. And we are animals. We are not special, miraculous, chosen children of God. We're broken people. And someone is beating us, and someone's attacking us. And our grandmas and our wives, our daughters, husbands, people we love, people that are our neighbors, people that we have just met and care for deeply, are being attacked with violence for standing outside with the rest of us, for expressing ourselves. And that's the kind of behavior that needs to just be flushed out of our society.
Yeah.
We don't need that shit.
I mean,
that's exactly the problem. And you know what? There's no reason to talk about it. You hit someone over the fucking head, they're going to break a goddamn window. And you're lucky they don't do worse.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, exactly. I mean, you know, conservative media is like inundating with people with stories that are going to make us look bad no matter what happens. And they're never going to not do that. And the New York Times is never going to not do that. That's what the media is in the pocket of the same people the police are in the pocket of. And they're not going to cover us fairly. We fucking know that. Yeah. And the thing about it is, I think everybody else knows it now. I don't think a lot of this stuff works. You know,
yeah.
I'm seeing a lot of people. I do see people that are mad about property damage, but I see a lot more people being like, why do you care about a fucking bank's windows?
Yeah.
You know, which, again, in 2008, 2009, when we started, like in 2011, we started in 2011. In 2011, when we started doing this, that wasn't like even a conversation that happened. Me and him had to be taught, you know, why windows get broken, why things get lit on fire, and about de-arresting people and stuff like that. Like, we had to be taught that because we were the same way. You know, it's like, well, why riot? Why loot? It's like, everybody needs that explained to them. They don't understand, like, why. They don't understand, like, if you're a white dude that grew up in America, you're never going to understand past... why are they burning down their own neighborhoods, like that whole thing? And it's like, now people are getting the understanding that like these aren't anybody's neighborhoods. When the politicians
I
say
do wanna
don't,
just-
go ahead.
South LA, the protesters there, that place got burned down in 92. They directed it all towards the rich neighborhoods in Beverly Hills and Melrose. So people are making sure to not burn down their own neighborhoods.
Yeah. Well, I don't even think I feel like when a politician says, "Why are we burning down our city?" It's like they literally mean our city, like the police and the mayor's city, not our city.
Yeah.
You know, they're not talking about ours. It's their city. This city isn't mine. I don't feel like I have any stake in this city. I don't have any power here. I don't have any way to make anything change. Andy Ginther is like a fucking brick wall when it comes to this stuff. The mayor of this city fucking... Do you remember Henry Green? He got shot because of the Summer Policing Initiative. And the Summer Policing Initiative is where plainclothes police drive around and they bother people that they decide are a problem. And they usually pick black men, and they got out of the car, and Henry Green ran. Because when a guy gets out of a fucking car and starts yelling at you and he has a gun and he's not dressed like the police, you fucking run. Because it's scary as hell. And he got shot in the fucking back. Not only did nothing happen to that cop, but he was caught again kicking somebody that was handcuffed in the back of the head. He's still fucking working.
He's probably out there in a mask.
He's out there right now.
Zach Rosen is his name.
Fucking cracking heads. And Andy Ginther, you know what he did in response to that? You know what Andy Ginther did? He extended the summer policing program through the fucking winter. That's what he did. He posted about that fucking bus, that dumb, dirty hippie bus in the middle of downtown that is so obvious that somebody lives in this bus.
Yeah.
Obvious.
And we all know people that live in bus. When we went to the protest at the DNC, I interviewed someone that lived with an entire farm inside of a bus.
Yeah.
I lived with someone that had a fucking llamas and goats in a bus and traveled to protests.
And they're like, we searched this fucking bus and we found a meat cleaver and some knives and an axe and like fucking things I have at my house where I live. You're allowed to have those fucking things.
Yeah, you can have a grill set.
Rocks are not against the law. Let me tell you something about rocks. If you don't want people to throw rocks, clean up all the fucking rocks. Get rid of them. No more rocks downtown. If that's what we're gonna fucking do. If you're gonna freak about every little fucking thing. These police are not out there exposed. They're not exposed at all. They're out there in fucking armor, driving armored Humvees with guns and a belt full of fucking Batman-ass weapons that are basically blunt trauma to people, and what they're doing is they're gassing and beating and throwing flashbangs and confusing people. They're doing that to fucking just people that live in the city. Enormous groups of people that live in the city. The people that are against this protest are in the fucking suburbs. They don't even come down here. What the fuck do they even care what we're doing down here?
Well, let me tell you what's up too. Like, there's a reason to be scared, but there's also a reason not to be. If you can stay on the sidelines for the most part. But you need to get involved. Like, feeling guilty about why you're not down there is not enough. Like, you have to figure out something. And there's these squishy ass suburban protests that are popping off like crazy. You can take kids out to the Worthington one over here, let them play in the fucking field, hold a sign up for 1 fucking hour and feel uncomfortable, you know, and try something new instead of just feeling guilty about it.
Yeah.
And make the effort, because it's 7 days now, and if you haven't been out, you're a fucking poser. Like you need to go back. When you were 6 years old in kindergarten and you learned about Martin Luther King and you said, I'd be one of those good white people, you need to go back to your little 6-year-old self and look in the face and said, no, you weren't.
Let me just say that if you are afraid of COVID, stay home. If you're immunocompromised, don't go to these things.
He's mom. I'm dad.
I know. I'm just a person. I don't think it's a poser.
On the ground.
I don't think
10,000 people swarm that city and tell those cops to put it down, or we're going to have to do something about it. And then it's ours. We need to get rid of the whole thing. And it's nothing to be scared of. It will be the most beautiful moment this city has ever fucking seen. There'll be freedom. There'll be people crying and weeping and songs singing through the fucking streets when we get rid of the police and Andrew Ginter.
Yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily even, like, I know that there is coming an announcement.
Also, just want to say, tough moms exist too. Tough mom.
I mean, I'm not trying to not be tough. I think people should go down there or donate money or drive down in your car and drop off supplies. There's like a bunch of things you can do. But like, I do also understand, I've talked to a lot of people who are very nervous about the pandemic, and I fucking am too. I have panic attacks about it almost every fucking night right now.
Imagine if
I wouldn't put somebody up to the standard that I'm putting myself up to. I feel like me and you owe the movement to be there.
Imagine being a 30-year-old worried about a 2-week flu and thinking that's worse than being a black man in America.
Okay, it's not a 2-week flu if you're immunocompromised. So,
I'm not talking to them. I care about those people. I'm talking about the people that are cowards and that are spending too much time inwards and are just too nervous and awkward and can't leave the house and can't give it up. And can't show up at the only time I've ever seen we've had an opportunity to make real change in this fucking world.
Yeah. Well, I think it's been quite a fucking week, and I want to move into some of the stuff. Okay, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I'm revved up. I apologize. Am I pissing you off yet?
No, I just wish you wouldn't yell at people who can't get out there.
Okay.
Because I feel bad for people that can't get out there. I talk to a lot of people who want to be there.
Okay.
And can't be there.
Okay.
I can be there because I'm a fucking idiot that doesn't care about his body.
Yeah.
Is the thing.
There's lots of us that aren't out there.
Okay, listen. Let me be clear.
Idiots that don't care about your body.
If you're a fucking idiot that doesn't care about your body, go out and let the police beat it up like I'm doing. Because
there we go. That's a compromise.
That I am okay with. But if you're afraid to be there, man, it's fucking scary. And I'm not here to tell you that it's not fucking tense and it's not scary at times out there, but I am here to tell you that it's fucking beautiful and it will reinvigorate your fucking soul if you stand in that crowd. If you can stand in that crowd, it will change you as a person. I promise you. It's changed my wife. It's changed my kid. All they fucking talk about is this now. They're fucking ordering signs on the internet. My daughter went to a march now. I think she went to kiss boys.
Smart. That's a great place to kiss. You can do. I saw kissing. You can kiss at the protest a little bit.
I think it's perfectly.
If teens are gonna hang out and kiss, and that's where they're gonna do it. That's fine.
I told Brett earlier today. I was like, you know what? Protesting for horny reasons is still protesting. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You know. She went to the suburbs protest where the cute Catholic boys are because she's big into Catholic boys.
Yeah.
And but she was there and she's done stuff and this has really changed these people.
The flame will die out if you do not join us. If you keep hemming and hawing and waiting for it and be like, oh, they weren't really about it anyways. It's because we need a second wave of not COVID, of protesters because it is wrecking me. I have insomnia like crazy. And I'm riding my bike down there. I'm basically, what I'm doing to maintain my sanity is every other day. Because I have to ride like a 30-minute bike ride to get down there and back.
I spend most of my day downtown anyway. So I'm just down there more.
You're already walking. This is great.
I already spend all my time there. I've been getting
prepping for this
steps.
movement.
Let me explain. I've been hearing people cry about their steps.
Yeah.
While we were at the protest, and well, first of all, they're not crying. They were bragging. These people were bragging, and I was like, I'm so shy at these things. So if you see me and you talk to me and I act weird, it's because I'm nervous guy naturally, and if I don't know that you know me, then I will be weird. That's just fucking who I am. Some guy though yesterday. I'm going to give you the biggest compliment, and I would have given you a hug if we weren't in a pandemic, who came up to me, looked at me, and said, your shorts are the perfect length. I was like, thank you, sir. I really work hard on that, which I assume he knew.
Yeah.
Which is why he told me.
That's great. That's a fucking assassin right there. That was just somebody waiting for the perfect thing to say. Good job. That's like the best reply guy.
I mean, that's the best, like, recognizing me in public that's ever happened, because it was just like a really spot on, really funny joke, and it was just like quick, and then he like turned his head, he was gone. I didn't even get to talk to him or anything.
Just left you in the night.
Yeah,
like Greg did.
Yeah,
our Rose guy, remember?
Well, Greg I know him now. But he's my buddy.
The first show we did, he showed up with like a rose pin on his lapel, dressed in all black and looking very suave. And we're like, who is that guy?
Yeah, why is there a hunk here?
Yeah, who's this fucking suave guy here?
Talking to Stephanie, our buddies Stephanie and Alec yesterday. Greg couldn't get down there yesterday; he had to work, and they were a little flustered that you brought up the bike cavalry and didn't tell them to come and get the bikes and refurbish them. They would like to help you make a bike cavalry.
Oh, I've got strategies
and
ready.
I said, dudes,
I'm the general.
I went like this to him. I was like, I mean, he was probably talking about you guys when he brought up the bike cavalry.
Yeah.
Because you guys, they were the ones doing it. They were doing it. I mean, I've been so
They were doing
heartened.
supply runs.
Yeah, I've been very heartened at like the infrastructure that's popped up. I think, like, you know, the first day I went downtown and I saw all the boarded up windows in the short north, that made me like really scared. I felt kind of weirdly scared, even though it's me I'm out there with the people.
Yeah, you're the menace. Like it's like it makes you think of like Death Wish, where you're like, oh no, this is a bad neighborhood, and you're like, wait, I'm the bad part of the neighborhood though. I'm the bad element of the neighborhood.
But they've been painting murals and shit on them, and they look really good now. And I don't know, I think downtown looks beautiful right now. There's a bunch of very beautiful people,
it's
like
so
humongous
incredible.
groups of beautiful people, and graffiti everywhere that says fuck 12, and
everything is covered up, which means it's all potential now. It's not what we knew before. It's not the same chains and brands. It's not all of the same local white millionaires that run these restaurant groups, right? It's all boarded up. There is opportunity for everyone. Now everyone has an opportunity to open a place on High Street once it's ours.
Well, we had
I think also the other thing I'm very impressed with the relieving, like the medic people are very well prepared. I really have to give a shout out to medics. I know it probably seems so goofy in like 2017 to go do 30 hours of training for like riot gear, riot training, but how much it's paid off now is incredible. The supply station drops, the water, all of that has been overwhelming. But I really want everyone that's listening right now that's involved to really investigate Hong Kong and how they've been able to sustain this over a very long period of time. And we need to get N95 masks to everybody that's out there. We need to start handing those out as much as we're handing water bottles. We need to work on getting Android devices that aren't connected to the internet and using Braille to have communications and messages with people. We can use lasers. You can use, like, if everybody gets a laser or a high beam, high lumens flashlight and puts it in riot cops' eyes, it disorients them. I've already seen, like in Portland and Seattle, people utilizing the method of taking traffic cones and putting it over a tear gas canister and pouring water through the top. That's been very effective. In Portland, the police fired a tear gas canister into the middle of the road where civilians were driving by in their fucking vehicles. I mean, if you've ever, like, here's the thing. You have to be stung by the tear gas because it will rebirth you. It's like a phoenix rising, how mad you will be. After you're choking, it's embarrassing. You're like, your shirt is over your head. Everyone's looking at your stomach. You're covered in slobber. You're sweating. You're making crazy noises. I'm out there trying to go beast mode on this shit. It's so hectic. And it's infuriating. You have to feel it, that shit. And to know, once the people that do know that feeling, to think that you're driving down the fucking road and you're just Susie Mall Shopper and you're in your fucking Range Rover, you're going to crash your goddamn car. My friend's mom, friend's mom crashed her car when a rock hit her windshield on the road.
Yeah.
I mean, and they were able to neutralize it.
One of Chris Novoselic's friends is yelling at me on Twitter. Now, friend, probably. I mean, libertarians don't have friends, so I would highly doubt that. But I had to respond to him. So let's
I have to go get another beer. I'm sorry.
Okay, well, I will start getting ready to talk about what we have here. I did see, and take this with a grain of salt. St. George, who played for the Minutemen for a while, but got, I believe, kicked out. I'm not 100% sure. He wasn't there the whole time, and he wasn't Mike Watt, and he wasn't the other guy that's really good.
Boone?
God damn it.
D. Boone?
D. Boone. But he's the other guy. He is delivering PPE to cops right now.
No.
And it's like, what is wrong with the punk? What is wrong with that generation of fucking people, dude?
Well,
what happened to them? Because I'm going to get to another thing here in a second.
Yeah, I think that, and what I'm going to say is that I think Gen X was ready to get into boomerdom. I know a few of them did kind of pivot into getting a real job and becoming like a renegade guru ninja in the 2000s at some place and securing maybe $100,000 a year. I think they were ready to slip into boomerhood. They were just so close to retirement, and I think they're just tired of people saying shit because eventually it worked out for them because they were just suburban white people the whole time.
Yeah.
For the most part. I mean, they're still, I believe, I know
so
true punks exist, but yeah, I mean, I'm a suburban white person too.
Yeah.
I'm half and half.
Well, I'm 100% up until about 20 years ago. And then now I'm obviously, I'm an urban dipshit.
Yes.
Urban white dipshit.
I do live in the historical stomping grounds of my family. There was bakeries that my family worked at. Didn't own, they worked at. There's a picture that my mom sent me. And my grandma lived over here. But yeah, I mean, until 8th grade, I was in Linden. And then we moved to Roundsburg, the suburbs.
I think you have a good point about like what the suburbs does to somebody's brain. Because, I mean, I didn't come downtown very much. And something that I have been hearing a lot, and that's been the only thing I've been very helpful with at the protests, is just giving all kinds of people directions. Like, I spend the whole fucking week, all week, every day, I'm telling people how to get here, I'm telling people how to get there, because, like, I was walking down we were marching down High Street, the main drag in Ohio. I walk down it every day because it's like the center of the universe in Columbus. So I'd like to walk through what would be the center of the universe in Columbus. I like to walk through there.
Yeah.
I was walking next to these 3 or 4 teenagers. And this really struck me because this city's really segregated, right?
Yes.
And like 71 just cuts it right through the middle. And a lot of people of color don't cross 71 and come over into the downtown Short North area, which is where we were marching. And I'm walking, and this dude is just like, "Oh shit! I didn't know Columbus had it like that. Steakhouse, Blackfish. What the hell? What's this? Tacos?
Are you serious?
This is crazy." He was like, they were freaking out. Like, this is crazy. Hyde Park.
There's a big city.
What even is that?
There's a real big city here?
Yeah. And it's like,
you can pay $12 for a fucking sandwich? You're kidding me. You're fucking kidding me.
He was like, "Dog, I'm coming back down here." He's like, I'm gonna be back down here all the time. I'm just gonna be down here eating.
Yeah.
That's what he kept telling people.
That's great.
He also, my favorite thing about this dude that really made me laugh was like, we were walking by a patio where people were drinking and people were yelling, "Come walk with us, come walk with us." And he was like, "Shit, if I was sitting on that patio, I would just stay and eat food all day." I was like, "Dude, maybe you're hungry."
Yeah.
But it was like
He just needs a sandwich, really?
Yeah, but I've been giving a lot of directions from people who say they never come down there. I'm never down here.
Yeah.
And like, it's because this city is so gentrified. It's so segregated. And you know, we just, it's bad. You know, it's like, it's another symptom that like people don't feel comfortable in the Short North, don't feel comfortable driving over to the Short North. You know, it's
Disneyland over there.
It is. It's like everything they think a city is. But yes, they get targeted and beat up if they're there.
Yeah, they don't look like they fit in. They're not the type of people that they want around.
Yeah. I mean, there's a reason they zone these places the way that they zone them and shit like that, and
they scare the white sheeple that are being farmed.
Yeah, it's sad. It's sad. It really is. Like, I was given directions to another woman who was just like, I was like, you know where Goodale Park is? And she was like, no. And I was like, you know where Victorian Village is? And she was like, no. I was like, so there's a BP right by 670. She's like, I don't know where that is. And I was like,
okay.
So I had to like really give like some pretty granular directions to somebody.
Yeah.
But I mean,
walk this way, count 60 seconds.
I'm gonna have to wear. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna wear a necklace with a sign on it that says "I will give you directions if you need them," because that can be my thing.
I got it even better, dog. Even better. You ready?
Yeah.
I'll walk you home.
I like it. That also get a lot of them steps in.
Yes, you walk them home, and then on the way back, you like, hey, anybody, I'm going to the protest. If anybody trying to get a brisk walk in, I've only got 10,000 steps for the day. I'm a little bit behind. If you can keep up with me, I'd love to have the company.
Fuck, my 7-day average is 40,000.
Damn, that's tight.
I mean, that's generally this time of year. It gets up around there sometimes, but yeah.
You got apple bottom now?
No, I think I am down to, so I've been trying to subconsciously lose weight for about a year.
Just like, well, I know exactly what you mean. Not try to focus on it too hard because you're just going to spoil it.
Yeah. And so it's like, I will eat less snacks. I will eat less meat. I won't go ham on I won't have a cheeseburger every 2 days.
Smart.
I won't have pizza every 2 days, and I'll walk every day as much as I possibly can, and I'm not gonna check. I'm not gonna do anything. But people started telling me I look thinner.
Yeah.
So what I did was,
someone said you were svelte.
I weighed myself, and my goal has been to get to 185 for a few years.
Okay.
Like, that's where I want to be.
Okay.
It's not a goal. It's not a set in stone goal. It's not like, but I would love to weigh 185 pounds. Because I feel like that's like right there where I'm still.
You can do pull-ups and shit, dog.
Yeah, that's where I'm still powerful, but I'm smaller, you know?
You're like 6 feet tall.
6 foot, yeah. 6 foot, 185.
You trying to get back to your teenage days?
No, my teenage days was 120.
Yeah, really?
Yeah, I weighed 120 until I was
paper
like
airplane.
I weighed 97 pounds until I graduated high school.
No,
I fucking
you had
swear
a bowl, a bowl chest.
Yes, they used to fucking, if I took my shirt off, they would talk about how I had a concave chest. Concave.
Yeah. Well, I hung out with a guy like that, and I still love you. We still loved you.
But well, and I've enjoyed being big.
Yeah,
like I love it. Nobody ever told me that if I got big, I would at once feel bad about myself, but then secondly, I would feel so powerful all the time, and that's where I feel. So I wanna like lose. I was at 225 over the winter. Mm-hmm. I'm at 200 now.
Whoa!
And I'm
really
15 pounds away from being my full power.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it just it's not a diet. I can't stress how little thought I put into it.
No,
it's just like
work.
maybe I should have like some vegetables
Diets
today
fail, yeah.
instead of like maybe I should just eat beans and vegetables today instead of enjoying my meal.
Yeah. I had my own embiggening of my own from I worked at a desk and I was very depressed with life and I gained a bunch of weight and it was not that being fat. This isn't to be fat phobic. I don't want to say it's wrong.
I'm not saying that.
I just think that once you focus on eating fruits and vegetables and that kind of stuff, like what comes out on the other end is like is a better result. It feels more healthy and comfortable and I've also loved like lifting weights now and like actually gaining weight and not feeling bad about it, like even if it's dirty bulk, I don't care. Like I used to be very tiny. I actually I had from the old Anarchist Cookbook show that I did like 10 years ago or whatever. I had this Virginia Beach souvenir I got when I was like 24 years old that said "Long Live Anarchy," and it still fit. So I was feeling good.
So I wanted to talk a little bit.
But everybody should start getting their cardio up. Like, you should practice running for 20 minutes. Even if you can't keep a good pace, like, stamina matters. If you can't be slowed down, if you have a big burst of speed, and then you can just keep it rolling, practice your breathing techniques. You don't want to be finding out you haven't ran in a long time when you go to a protest, you know?
Yeah. So what I wanted to do on the back half of this show, it's still a comedy show. Obviously, you know, we're this is serious times, so I don't feel the need to be funny, but I want to be funny.
Okay.
And I thought we could talk a little bit about celebrity and brand work in this time, which
It
has
matters.
been interesting.
To
say the
where did
least.
I have something to share with you. I'm going to pull it up, but I also had my own thoughts about that as well, because it's been a very interesting response from people. This week on Instagram, I did an interview with Jake Widowson. They are the employee that was fired from Condado Taco. Now, in the news, Condado was saying that Jake walked out, but they
We
didn't.
can cover that instead. Then we can hit that and then do what I was gonna do. It's fine.
Well, I wasn't taking it over.
No, go for it.
I was just saying that I don't even know what I was getting.
Well, I
at.
have the story. I'm sorry. I have that story kind of laid out. I'm ready to do it.
Oh, sorry.
We don't have to. We can do it now. It's fine. So Condado Tacos is a cruddy taco place. And listen, if you're from Columbus and you like Condado, I'm sorry to tell you it's cruddy. It sucks. And let me tell you a little story about my Condado experience. One, I go there one time, and they forget my daughter's food, and then they never bring it to her. So
Really?
everybody's eating, including one of her friends, and she's just sitting at the table without food. And that's like whatever. Shit falls through the cracks,
Yeah.
you know, but we ended up having to, like, me, Chai, her friend, and Katie all ate gross tacos, and then we stopped at Wendy's on the way home and got Gwen her dinner because no more Wendy's either. Gwen
That's
had to
great.
inform me no more Wendy's.
Wendy's
last night.
was the iWalk told us all about.
Right,
fucking
no, but
Wendy's.
my daughter liked the spicy chicken sandwich.
Fuck your daughter when she cares about about fast food.
Well, now she doesn't want to eat it, you know?
Okay.
Hey, listen, you will fucking...
No more. You don't get to expect anything in the new world. We only bring what we need into it.
So
no
anyway,
one cares about what you cherish about the capitalistic society that oppressed us.
So anyway, Condado, basically they call them gringo tacos, fake tacos.
Yeah.
It's my favorite thing. to
Somebody's
say.
spray painted fake tacos on the door.
So anyway, when I got back from
And also-
tour at one of the tours we had, I don't remember, but I really wanted Mexican food. It was obviously not Texas or California, so leave me the fuck alone there. I think it was Northeast. I wanted Mexican food. There was nobody was open. None of the like real places I go. Los Gauchos, very good choice.
Love it.
Junior's Tacos, very
Yeah.
good choice. None of them were open, and I was like, well, Condado, people speak very highly of it. I'll go to Condado. And I went there, and they put warm meat, not hot meat, warm meat, and then they put ice cold frozen vegetables on the fucking thing. And I went to eat it, and I was like, who would ever like this? I never went again. So
Yeah.
anyway,
when I lived in Clintonville, I lived actually at the end of my road was Condado. And I was convinced Eric, I was like, come on, they had jackfruit, they had a lot of vegan options. They put pineapple on there. Once again, this was white people, so they're putting like Chinese food and shit in there. And they're like, I went to Tibet and learned about the fucking ylang ylang, and I had to introduce that into our new ylang ylang wrap.
Remember queso guacamole they were doing there for a period?
Yeah.
Or and then queso hummus. It's like the shit,
Degenerate
most
shit.
shit.
It's awful. It's and also here's the problem. We ordered 2 times. It's fucking ice cold, man.
I
It's
know.
like what they do. Like at my house, we do keep the tortillas in the fridge because we don't have tortillas every day. But if you're going to be making 100 tacos, you can leave the pack out for the whole fucking day.
Ice cold.
It's going to take 45 minutes. They keep all of their flour tortillas in the fridge like it's at-home tacos. It's like it tastes like leftover tacos.
It does.
It's like someone like, hey, we got this. You know, sometimes that shit hits if it's like marinated. Like if someone makes a whole fucking taco and then it sits overnight in the fridge, you can eat it cold for breakfast, and I think it's great.
They also
but I'm
give
not
you-
going to pay for it cold. I'm not going to pay for next day taco. I want a first day taco, and I want to decide.
They are again white, and they use Mexican Day of the Dead
Oh yeah,
like imagery at the place, and they also just restaurant wise never hand me a form to fill out. Tell me what the fuck to order.
it's the worst.
I want to be told. You know what? I want a person that cooks for a living to fucking put a couple choices down on a little piece of paper and I'll pick one of those choices. I don't want to make my own fucking tacos, dude.
I'm not going to fill out anything on paper if I go out to eat.
Never.
Ever
Not again. No.
And you
I'm
know
out.
what? You're right. Somebody should come to the table and say, what do you like? Barbecue sauce? You like how do you like your barbecue sauce? From where? What kind of vegetables you like? Okay, I'm going to make you a fucking taco.
Well, I mean, every other fucking restaurant in this entire city and in the world, you can walk in and fucking be like, I'll have the goddamn, the lamb gyro, and they fucking give you that. You know what I mean? Like, they aren't like, do you want like some beets on it? You want,
Yeah, what do you think about throwing a little bit of sriracha on that? I'm like,
thought
I don't
about-
know. What do you think?
You thought about ranch? You want to throw some ranch on there? Sounds good.
We're doing a little insider thing here, but because Condado is a place that literally, it's a long shopping list. It's
It
like
sucks.
a long skinny piece of paper with probably 40 boxes along the side, and it's like, what's your proteins? What's your greens? Sling it with sauce. It does that kind of thing, and you're just confused. And what you do is you're like, I'm gonna get a pork taco, add beans, add cheese, add rice, guacamole. Ooh, I want barbecue sauce. Ooh, I really like sweet and sour sauce. And you get this fucking gigantic thing that nobody can hold on to, and it tastes fucking awful.
Right, I'm a nutcase,
I'm not
dude.
good at making it. I didn't pick the ingredients. Come to my house and I'll give you a piece of paper and then you can put what you want in your taco and I'll make, but like,
I'm nuts. I don't have any self-control at all in any way when it comes to food. And like, you hand me that form and I'm just going to put check mark there next to everything I like.
Just draw a line straight down.
Ooh, I like that. Ooh, yeah, I'm 4 proteins. Yes, I'll take all the meats. Thank
It's
you.
only $1.50 extra.
So anyway, they took a huge order from the State Highway Patrol, who are out in these streets. They are not innocent.
Well, yeah.
They're out there
I was on
doing the same shit.
Condado social media, inspecting what they were doing, and some folks in the comments. This is really like, these are the fucking gutless assholes that stand on the sidelines and just say facts. Where like the only thing they comment on the story was like, it actually wasn't the police, it was the Ohio State Patrol.
Okay, well, they're police.
Well, I'll tell you what, I saw just Jake, I talked to you and I messaged you. I was on my bike and I did one of those things where like the handlebars start wiggling real fucking bad and you think you're about to go over, but then it straightens. Because I saw Ohio Highway Patrol in bulletproof vests with these orange guns, like tracer rounds or pepper guns, something, and they were just bloop, 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 bloop. I just saw them like literally loading shells, and I was like, thank you, Jake, for telling these people to fuck off and making Condado look like assholes.
So the way this played out was, I got this in a DM in the Ohio chat. DM that I'm in where we talk Ohio. It's just all people from Ohio.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah. And we talk about Ohio a lot, but not much. But it's
Ohio
nice.
against the world, really.
It's nice to be able to talk about local shit with people. Mm-hmm. And I'm learning a lot about, political campaigns and shit like that, which is interesting. The Recall Ginther thing came up, and I was like, I'll tell you what. If you can get this fucking piece of shit recalled, bring me on, I'll run for fucking mayor. I will run for mayor. I don't fucking care. I don't have anything to lose. I want the Democrats to denounce me like they have Sam Grady. That's deep for everybody. But so anyway.
I think they're supposed to be at Mayor Ginther's house tonight.
Yeah. So this is from GSHEAMERCER. I don't know. G. Mercer. This is where the story came out. So he posts, today on my day off, my job forced us to do a massive catering order for the Columbus Police Department. The staff walked out and was fired. When I go in tomorrow, myself and others are going to demand an apology, and if we don't get it, we will also still walk out. That was the first I saw of this.
Who said this?
GSHEA Mercer.
Got it.
G. Shea Mercer. This was the Twitter account. He was,
Oh, I remember that now. Sorry.
So anyway, this gets viral, and in Columbus, when we're marching, we march by 2 Condados, and both times people are like, fuck Condado, you know what I mean? And Condado is also, so a lot of people are doing, this speaks volumes about Condado, by the way. A lot of people are doing murals that say like Black Lives Matter, that say like fuck 12, no
Latino
justice,
owned,
no justice, no peace, no race. They're taking a very clear stand at a lot of these places, and Condado, nothing. There's nothing up there. I think they added like something that was sort of a generic. Find beauty in everything. Let's taco about it. Sort of shit.
Well, what Jake was telling me is that, I mean, at this point, they're just a chain. They're in Pittsburgh. They're in Cleveland.
I know. We ran into it in Pittsburgh. I saw that.
And they said basically that, essentially that everything comes out of bags. It's like when you go to Panera Bread. Yeah. It's Panera Bread. Everything is vacuum packed in bags, and you boil it and you heat it up, or you microwave it, or whatever it is. But nothing is there like. Almost nothing there is made like on the premises. It's just rearranging chemical slop.
Well, I walk by where it's made, actually, every day, because they have a side kitchen that's in a building downtown.
I didn't know that.
You can see it from outside.
Okay.
It's right next to the downtown one. So anyway, people got pissed about this, and they started talking about it pretty pointedly to Condado, and there was like basically no way they couldn't address. They had to address this. We made them address it. And I will go ahead and read their Facebook post, because that's where they posted this. Condado was built as a place for everyone, without judgment or fear. A place where originality and being unique are embraced. First of all, a white guy making a taco place is not originality. White guys been doing that for fucking centuries.
We fucked up tacos as soon as we found out about them. We put cheddar cheese on them and tomatoes and lettuce.
We are also a family that cares for and about each other. From the first day we opened our doors, we have included all people as employees and as guests in the Condado world. We want to be clear that we stand against racism. Always have and always will. Well, that's okay. To the black community, we see you. And we know you are hurting. We need to make it clear Black Lives Matter. So
this is Condado, the Condado Taco talking. Their mascot.
Yeah.
So they're talking to the crowd, and then they turn to the black community. Just want to say, we cool?
Yeah. And like the part at the beginning that's so funny to me is like, we've included all people as employees and as guests in the Condado, where it's like, motherfucker, you ain't turning anybody away. It's fairly obvious, Like, what restaurant is... I mean, is there a restaurant that would turn potential customers away that aren't cops, So anyway, there's been a lot of conversation online about an event that took place last night at our Polaris location. By the way, suburbs. This is Chudville, USA, Polaris. We want to take a minute to address what happened. Our Polaris location received a catering order that was placed and paid for by the Ohio State Highway Patrol. We accepted that order, and there were a handful of our team members who felt uncomfortable fulfilling it. Management communicated that any team members who were uncomfortable did not have to work on the order. But working on the orders for other people while that order is being worked on is working on the order. What I'm saying? That's what they're saying. They're saying, no, you could just make the orders that are in the store. You don't have to make the highway patrol orders. It's like, motherfucker, I'm still making the order. It doesn't matter what I'm doing.
Yeah.
If I'm at work, I'm making an order for the Ohio State Highway Patrol.
Yeah, I'm normally on Expo Station, and all of a sudden there's 3 people that are in the back making 500 tacos for the people that are shooting peaceful protesters right now.
A few team members chose not to complete their work shifts. While no one was fired last night, and if they want it, everyone's job remains intact. We understand emotions are high. We will be announcing donations and other efforts that we are making to support movements and efforts to achieve racial equality. Our Columbus locations are closed today to allow room for conversation between our team. Which, okay. I mean, so they followed up later. To clarify an earlier post regarding our Polaris restaurant, last evening we received and served a paid catering order to a group of highway patrol. Condado has always embraced and served everyone without judgment or regard to individual differences. We respect and continue to serve all members of our community, which is the foundation of our culture. You should be judging cops right now. Don't reserve judgment to these poor fucking guys that are fucking shooting pepper balls at people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Don't reserve judgment for the fucking police ever. It's not enough.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Jake, what they said essentially was that they showed up to work and that the order had been placed that day, and normally you have to have 24 hours on an order. And so essentially, as soon as they walked in, the assistant manager was like, you're going to be really pissed about this, and we're making tacos for the highway patrol. They said they were uncomfortable with it. They weren't going to do it. Everybody in the kitchen agreed, but there was a district manager at the time, and apparently what this district manager said, anybody that's not willing to make the order is fired. So when Jake and the manager that informed them walked out together, this district manager ran outside to say, hey, I didn't mean you were fired. You're quitting right now. If you walk out right now, you're quitting. Which, I mean, it has to be illegal. I mean, you can't prove it, and they always protect the fucking business owner anyways. But that was
running out. Hey, never mind. You're not, because they knew it was gonna become a story at that point when the people walked out.
Yeah,
and again, people are acting like they in the comments. It's a lot of people are like, they were hired to do a job, and it's like, motherfucker, I'm not doing my job. If I found out most of my audience was racist, I'd quit doing my job.
Well, and the thing about it is, Condado is a piece of shit job, and you can find piece of shit jobs everywhere. Like there's plenty of places to find a horrible place to work.
Yeah,
and hopefully, I just hope Jake gets that fired eligibility for unemployment is really the big thing.
Yeah.
But if you want to support Jake, you can go to jakewidowson.bandcamp.com. The last name is spelled WIDDOWSON.bandcamp.com. They make incredible music. I love this shit. If you're into emo, screamo, that American football shit.
Right, and it's very brave to come out. Obviously very brave to come out with something like this because, jobs are kind of hard to get right now. I don't know what Condado pays. And
it's a tough, it's a hard fucking decision to make, to say no to money, to say no to guaranteed money, to say I'm not going to get paid $329, every 2 fucking weeks for this bullshit job or whatever.
When we talked about
part-time job, you can't even get full time at these fucking joints.
We talked about it with me when I was working at the camera store, and I was having fucking panic attacks about losing a job where I made $8.50 an hour.
Yeah,
and I fucking the show was taking off. No, wasn't even 8 hours a day.
Yeah.
It was 8 hours, 3 days a week.
50. Yeah. Nothing.
Yeah, exactly. And it was like, but I would have absolute meltdowns thinking this is going to be the day that I get fired from this job. Forever for me, I've been a person who is very uncomfortable when I'm unemployed, which I admire anybody that can do it. I traditionally have never collected unemployment. I even got told by when I was a roofer, they told me When I was a roofer, they told me that I could get unemployment, and I got a job that day and didn't end up getting it.
I've had that a couple of times. I've had that when, like, I really was going for unemployment because I can steal my way to full pay.
Well,
but, like, then I would just someone would be like, hey, I got a really great job offer. And I'm like, fuck.
well, and I was 22 at that time, you know, maybe 20. No, I was maybe 19 or 20, and I just was a guy that was like, I shan't collect unemployment. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But,
unemployment's the bomb. I did it forever.
right. I know that now, obviously. But, you know, I was a dumb fucking idiot back then. But, so, you know, solidarity to Jake.
Well, yeah, and I want to say...
That's incredible to leave your job for political reasons, because I know how hard that is. And, you know, we talk to so many people who are like, you know, my job's problematic and I feel bad about it and I don't know what to do.
And
you
this type of, like, you know, like, that is the thing, is these moments is when people get crushed. Any other time... If this was last year, if this was 2019, this would have never made the fucking news.
No, hell no.
Jake did damage to a gigantic fucking chain of bullshit restaurants. And the people at the top taking all the money from the people making those tacos and serving them don't fucking deserve anything they have. They're pieces of shit that aren't better and aren't set up to properly be a part of the community. I was on Vegan Columbus board, hundreds of comments, hundreds of people fighting because they love those jackfruit tacos and they're just finding a way to be okay with it. And people just viciously saying, like, we're ethical people, we're vegans, we don't put up with this type of shit. But it doesn't matter. They're saying we're ethical and, like, we don't support police brutality is what they're saying. Yeah. They're saying humans are animals and we don't support people hurting them.
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying we're ethical.
No, the vegans hate Condado is what I'm saying. There's a few people that were standing up, but there was a lot of people that were like, I know this group business is supposed to be political, but if you're going to shut down conversation about this, then you need to fucking, you know, hand in your ally card and all that shit. Like, there was a real reckoning that happened on the board over this, and that's because of Jake. Yeah. And the kitchen manager. And also what Jake said was that 2 other people walked out afterwards too. They felt comfortable and just were like, fucking couldn't do it. You got 100 deep into it. You can quit 100 in. You can quit halfway through a job. You can just drop the fucking tools and walk away. Every fucking riot cop out there. You better do it before 100,000 of us show up. That's going to be trouble. I don't want to see what happens.
Well, let me bring up another brand in Columbus, Ohio that was interesting. There was so what happened basically is a buddy of mine, Senator Meow, went to the Fraternal Order of Police's website, and there was a spreadsheet on there that said Friends of the FOP.
I saw this, some of it.
And my dude Meow posted it. And
I just followed Meow too. I don't know why I didn't know about them, but they have a great account.
Oh, very
They're
cool.
very informative and helpful during this time.
Gonna help me run for mayor if I go for it.
There we go. Well, Meow, get in contact with me. I'm trying to coordinate a lot of stuff right now.
So, basically they posted that, and all these businesses had to come out and fucking comment on it.
Yeah.
And look, you were on the page. You know what I mean? Like, you should... People were like, oh, this is kind of a shot. They can just put anybody there. And it's like, well, they were there. If you're there, you're fucking there. I'm sorry. On the FOP site, the police can put any restaurant on there as Friends of the Police.
That's true.
They don't. It doesn't matter.
But somebody did something extra special at these locations to put them down. That's all that matters.
Must have donated money or something like that, because the FOP probably comes and asks for money, and then people are like, sure, here's $100.
What about when all the cops are like, you know, this local barbecue place will just comp your order every single time? What about that? What about word spreads like that? I mean, that's what we need to do. We need to create our own Friends of the Protesters. We need a FOP that's a friend of the protesters, where if you are a verified protester, then you can go to restaurants and have free meals and free haircuts.
So here's what North Star posted, which this is what I would call the polar opposite of what the other place, what Condado posted. This is where we stand. We see you, we hear you, and we will not remain silent. We've spent the past few days reflecting, learning, and listening to our community to understand how we can affect real change. One step we're taking is committing $5,000 to Rights Camp, a foundation whose mission is to advance the liberation and well-being of black and brown communities. This is just a start. If you'd like to join us in this effort, we've included it in the link in the bio. And then they posted, we stand with black communities. We stand against police brutality. We stand committed to amplifying voices of our black colleagues and working alongside them to dismantle systemic racism in the restaurant industry and in our communities. Your pain, your voices, and your lives matter was what they posted.
Who?
This is North Star.
Yes.
And
which is a big surprise.
I mean, they are pretty Libby type like that is a very radical thing for a business to post on their site.
I'm thinking about it closely. I mean, the demographic it brings is the kind of hipster racist that has a lot of extra money that they don't deserve. But at the same time, I've also heard that they pay very well and take care of people, right? They've been known in the city for being like a decent job, I guess, with benefits and everything, and a higher wage than most people get for being servers and shit like that, you know?
In the comments.
And so I guess it doesn't surprise me that they would step up, except for that I think that, like, money poisons all people.
Yeah. And so people are asking them about, like, catering and stuff like that. And they answered, thank you for reaching out to us. The rumors about North Star Cafe in Brassica are completely false. We have seen a Reddit thread about another business that has been accused of these actions, Condado. And somehow our restaurants have been included. We do not support police brutality or racism of any kind, and incidentally, we do not cater. In addition, we are not firing anyone due to the protests in our city. Please feel free to reach out with any additional questions. We want to have a transparent and open dialogue.
Brassica's good?
I love Brassica.
Yes! Brassica's good is what you're saying? Yes!
Delicioso. That's a place that should be a fucking chain.
Yes! I mean, they do their pickled shit right. They got the extra special everything. I had Greek Express for dinner tonight. Still one of my favorites, but Brassica is just so fucking good.
Someone did ask them if they're going to stop giving discounts to cops, and they have not answered that yet. So
yeah, dun dun dun.
So hey, look.
Some people have. Though. Didn't you tell me some people have gotten rid of cops?
I read that they have. I read that North Star did, and then I guess that was a lie tweet. And
that's really good. That's like one of those fake lies about Taco Bell using like fake meat and shit or something. Like cardboard meat. It's not true. But it's like we should spread the lie like, yeah, North Star totally got rid of their 10% police discount, and everybody shows up and is like, thank you for your service for the Fraternal Order of Protests. I'm glad that 10% of every order is going to the people downtown fighting for our freedoms. And then they just get bullied into doing it.
Yeah, so anyway, how great would it be if we could cancel police discounts? Like if we could just get rid of 50% of them.
No comfort.
Yeah,
Nothing.
I know. They should fucking
show up to work, punch a clock, punch us, and get out. You don't get any other accolades anymore.
Yeah, they should walk. I keep thinking about, like, I have this picture in my head of a cop walking into 7-Eleven and filling up a big Slurpee and then walking up to the counter, and usually the guy would be like, just take it. And then instead being like, that'll be regular price, sir.
Yeah.
And then the cop walking out like really sad with their head down. I don't want anybody to be giving them discounts.
No extras.
No free coffee. No free fucking anything.
Shun them from society.
They should be shunned. I agree.
They don't even live in Columbus.
Nope.
Like we should have, the people need to set up checkpoints so that the cops can't get to their jobs because they don't live here. They're not a part of our communities.
Yeah. So that is, that's that. And let's do this next.
Well, can I give you one?
Yep.
On brands?
Mm-hmm. That's where I was going.
One of my advertiser friends. No, this is going to be relevant. This is like an umbrella thing. One of my ad buddies from way back when, Lisa, graduated with her. She's the best. I just got off a really interesting webinar with Fast Company.
Webinar.
People do them for their jobs. They have to. They get paid money.
Let's fucking have a webinar.
You want to do a webinar?
We should do a webinar instead of a Zoom.
I want to do a webinar that teaches people how to take inflatable plastic tubes to use them to push back against riot police shields.
Oh, I should mention that I haven't told Brett this off the air, but we are doing a panel for BugCon. So we will be on a panel. We don't know what it is yet.
Digital panel?
Yeah.
Okay.
We can fucking ain't going to California.
Okay.
As much as I want to.
Just making sure.
It's a digital thing, and I said I would ask you and then didn't do it.
You just asked me.
Yep, and you're in.
I'm in. Just got off a really interesting webinar with Fast Company about the brand as an activist. Some good shit, but also some terrifying dystopian shit. And this is in quotes. Government and police force have lost credibility, and brands are being looked at to step up. Like, this is where Amazon comes in with Amazon Police. Like, that's just like part of your Prime membership. You have police that protect you.
Dog,
you can just say, Alexa, call the police, and then they show up.
Don't call
Alexa,
the police,
stop.
Alexa.
Alexa, stop.
Brett just yelling and then fucking come pull up. I'm already breaking curfew.
Yeah,
here.
sorry.
No, it's fine.
I have to get rid of it, I guess.
I mean, did you see? So here's another brand that I wanted to talk about. Zoom, who actually they posted the black box because it's, the least you can do, and said Black Lives Matter.
The black cube of Saturn?
No, whatever that black box thing was yesterday. The blackout thing.
Oh, Blackout Tuesday, that orchestrated thing from the police and ATT.
Yeah, so anyway, Zoom posted that, and, Black Lives Matter. Nice thing to say. And then about an hour later, somebody asked them, will you encrypt so that people can't look into our calls and catch us? And they're like, well, we want to cooperate with the police and FBI in case people are doing bad stuff on Zoom. And it's like, fuck Zoom. No more Zoom. That was one brand. Another brand that really pissed me off, two of them. The NFL has no place, like, even weighing in on this. They fucking drummed a guy out of the fucking league for doing a protest of this exact thing, of police brutality. Like, Colin Kaepernick was on his knee, which incidentally now a bunch of conservatives are like, why don't you just take the knee? Why do you have to go out into the street? And it's like, you fucked up. You could have just had the knee, my dudes. You could have just had the knee. But guess what? Yeah,
I mean, they threw a fit about that. They were absolutely pissed.
Yeah, and again, like,
they wanted to take down national football over it.
Yeah, they drummed out Colin Kaepernick out of the league. The guy can't get a fucking job in the NFL because he stood up for Black Lives Matter.
Yeah,
he was the guy that was doing it. He started the whole thing.
He said he wasn't going to wave. He wasn't going to salute an American flag that didn't represent or support him. And,
exactly.
And neither do I. I don't want to support the American flag if it's not going to be equal for everyone. God, and there's no way to make it equal for everyone. It has to be getting rid of.
Yeah, I saw a baby lib yesterday on a picture of somebody spray painting on an American flag. They're like, okay, you don't have to do that now. All the rest of the stuff I'm in on, but don't deface the flag. And I was like, don't be a fucking baby.
Stop it.
Yeah,
that flag sucks.
Yeah.
Terrible design.
Yeah. We're going to make a new flag. It's going to be fucking
We have to make something better. We can't just keep doing the same shit.
Let's not even do a flag, dude. Or let's make the flag like a triangle or like a neat shape.
Pennant.
I
already has a pennant flag.
Okay, a circle flag, maybe. Just
you
like
have to
a
go
fucking
to
circle.
You have to go to like a beach, like one of those beach kite places sells all those weird flags too. Like,
well, I mean, if we're gonna have to have
a vacation, you have to get that in Myrtle Beach.
If we're gonna have a flag, let's have. Well, we'll just use the Black Lives Matter flag. To tell you the truth, I think that's a pretty good looking flag.
That's smart.
So
trans flag is great colors.
Yes, and also the
I'm
pride
a pastel
flag.
guy. Also wavy. Very much a big fan of the pastel color.
So another thing I decided to look into was bands. I wanted to see bands.
Yes.
Okay.
I was fucking shaking in my boots about some of my favorite artists that I know are probably a little unreceptive to this, even though, bands like Metallica started as young, angry men that were against the American way of colonialism and war and all of that stuff. like with the punks, once you get older and you make it, you're kind of like, I guess it really wasn't that bad because everyone gets to be a millionaire rock star someday.
Yeah.
That's how it comes out for these people, is they're like, I mean, I tried pretty hard to be in a band and now I just sell merchandise all the time and that's enough for me to own a hot wing sauce business that I love so much.
At Kohl's.
I have a line at Kohl's.
They sell my band's shirt at Kohl's now, and I make a decent little stack of cash. So then, yes, shaking in my boots. I hope Metallica.
James, James, focus on your sobriety. I don't think you need to expend any of your energy. We want you to be comfortable and safe and ready to do another, good album.
I mean, they aren't
I love
commenting, and it's very obvious that they're not going to comment because it says because today they just unveiled the new hero of the day thing where nurses and doctors stuff
was 21. That was 3 weeks in the making.
Yeah,
they were doing that during Corona times, and then we're like, our launch date is set for June 1st. We have to do this.
Yeah,
and it's everything has changed though.
Yeah, everything's different now. So what I did was I went to my top fave, which by the way, I wear the mask at the protest, the Korn mask, the band Korn.
Yes,
shaking a little bit. I'm a little bit worried. But, I mean, Jonathan Davis has said dumb things in politics, and, my fear wasn't that Korn was going to say something racist or, support the police. My fear was that Korn was going to post All Lives Matter. That's where the fear comes in,
There's been artists that do stuff that I'm just like, I can enjoy the music, and it's I can't. I'm just thinking about how it just paints everything the wrong way for me, you know?
So Korn posted, if you're neutral in situations of injustice, you have chosen the side of the oppressor, Desmond Tutu. We stand for justice and equality for all. Enough is enough. And a picture of George Floyd with I Can't Breathe over the mouth. It says R.I.P. George Floyd. So Korn, certified good boys.
Yes! Jonathan Davis was such a wild card. He did InfoWars interviews, right?
He's extremely an All Lives Matter.
He's open-minded
guy.
He's one of those just people that's like, yeah, man, I get it. There's a battle, but I just think everybody's great. He's one of those stupid incubus type heady things.
Here's the thing. Those guys also were clearly influenced by black culture, and I think that
also have a diverse group.
Yeah, they
people it's just hard when people are a part of something. They're like, what do you mean? Everybody gets along. And it's no, you get along.
Yeah,
other people have a very serious problem with it.
So then, what I did was I was like, well, okay, Metallica isn't saying anything. I don't want to see what Slayer's saying because,
Smart.
That's another freak. But Anthrax, I went and checked. And they did the Blackout Tuesday.
Wow.
And
it's a madhouse.
Here it is, Anthrax, which this is another non-surprising
they made the song I Am the Law. They should, the thing of that I know right now is not selling out will win. I think that not giving up on what made you interesting in the first place. You can't turn your back on why people initially grasped onto you in that way.
Yeah, so that's done. So we got Anthrax, one of the big four.
Perfect.
Did make a statement.
Skip over Dave Mustaine, please.
Dave Mustaine.
Just skip over it. I don't want to know. Listen. Here's the thing, though. Here's what I'm going to say. Listen to the song. It's from off their new album from Megadeth, Post America World. Now, don't imagine the politics of the guy that's singing it, but imagine your own politics applied, and I think it will be a very inspiring song. I love to break my fucking neck headbanging to Post America World by Megadeth.
Yeah, okay. So then I looked up Corey Taylor from Slipknot, which is just a layup. To tell you the truth.
Yeah, he's definitely woke. He's definitely done mushrooms all the fucking time and just thinks that we live in a police state and all that stuff. Which, fair. But, one of those just feels like an InfoWars again.
but he is not InfoWars. He's extremely on our side.
Yeah! Good news.
I'm trying to find his post because I found it. So then I'm like, I think we all know.
All you do is drag me down. Sorry.
Yeah, wait and bleed. It could definitely. I mean, the other thing about the corn thing. The other thing about the corn thing was when I wear my corn mask to the protests, I get a lot of compliments
It's
on that
easy
corn
pop.
mask. Yeah, it is. Everybody likes
So
fucking
who
corn.
could dislike corn? That shit sounds so crazy. It's so unique. And like, who could fuck with that?
Why can't I find Corey Taylor?
Who doesn't like metal that bumps?
Yeah, exactly. So then I look up. I can't find the. But actually, I know where to find the post because I want to let people know that I was looking into these things. And here we go. Corrence Taylor. And I looked up. So I look it up, and I'm almost there. I promise. Oh, Jesus Christ!
You know what I want to say? Someone is calling for it on the Columbus protest tag right now, and it's something that to think about if you're at home and you're addicted to Twitter. Consider getting some sort of a VPN to hide where you're posting from, but share what's happening on the police scanner. I spent the evening last night listening to the police scanner. It's kind of an ASMR thing. It's weird because it just shit crackles through and then they say what's happening and you have this weird flash of like what's happening and how they're fucking it up, you know? But at the same time...
And they're also saying some pretty vile shit on those. Did you hear the TMZ thing? Here's Corey Taylor. Several roads have brought us to this point. Only one road is going to lead us out of here. We have to take the road together. Fight injustice, fight racism, fight oppression. Not too bad. You know?
Yeah.
I think, if you're posting this stuff, and Corey Taylor might have just been like he didn't want to get yelled at, you should add Black Lives Matter. But he also posted an article called An American Uprising. So he's on our side. I think.
No, it sounds right. I mean, here's the thing. Here's what I want to say to everybody. There is no answer to this. You have to just have an open heart. You have to give in to mystery. You have to give in to the unknown. You know, all of the businesses that you fucking love may not be there anymore, but life is long and things change. And one day you'll walk into a community-owned fucking restaurant downtown and say, hey, this used to be owned by some jackass that couldn't make a fucking taco to save their life. You know? It adds zest. Change is a part of everything. Absolutely. I don't know. It's like, and like, to say there is not an answer because the only answers that people have is how can we make the government work for us and how can we make the police better? And those two things are pseudoscience. That's nothing that can happen. Those aren't acceptable options anymore. Those have failed since 1776.
We've been trying to fucking figure it out. You know, they did body cams, and every single time something happens, the body cams are either off or somehow got erased. Here's Guns N' Roses.
Or whatever it is.
Here's Guns N' Roses. They did the Blackout Tuesday, and it said, we stand on the side of justice. Black Lives Matter. Which is, for Guns N' Roses, that's a fucking move. Because, they're going to have a lot of fans that are mad about it. But, which, of course, the first comment is all lives matter. But,
who said that? Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, that's what people go for. Dude, you want to know what's crazy, man? I was at the protest. I heard this white guy saying the N-word. And I creeped up and then I was like, you know what, Brett, it's time to do the right thing. And I turned around and he was like with three of like the squirreliest looking black dudes. And I was just like, all right, y'all grew up together and you have your own thing and we're accepting of everyone.
There's a lot of Lonnies. There is such Lonnie representation at these things.
That same group, two very young, fun, bubbly black girls in like full neon, they matched their outfits, that kind of stuff. They started chanting all lives matter and people were like, nah, that ain't it. And they were like, what the fuck? Police kill the white people too? They're out there killing all of us. They'll kill fucking any one of y'all. Don't think it's just black people. You Mexican, you Japanese, you're white. They'll fucking kill you out here. And then other people started cheering. And then this other lady popped off and just started went on this 90-second rant that backed her up. And was just for real, it's every single one. And they're against all of us. It's about everybody was in full synergy together.
Yeah, I saw today.
We are all broken little pieces of a puzzle. There's not one person. It takes hundreds of us doing what we can. The rest of our lives are fucked up and not together, and we can't even get our anything. But we can put time towards this, and we are ready to show up. And what I want to say about everyone that shows up to those fucking protests is ready to rebuild the city once we do it the right way.
I mean, I'm ready to work.
That's why they're showing up.
I'm ready to work.
I got my plan for the future at the end of this.
I'll be out there fucking podcasting.
I got it planned. I have it planned at the end. You ready?
Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
You want to hear it? Are you done with the ads?
What ads?
The people that are doing the ads.
I wanted to do the one last finale guy.
Okay.
Which is Chris Novoselic of Nirvana.
Sure.
This guy, I first of all was very surprised by this. If you're in Nirvana, it seems like it's impossible to end up a chud if you were in Nirvana.
That's also true because what's his name? Kurt was on wearing dresses. He didn't have the right things to say, but just being a straight at the time in the 90s, just being I feel kind of gay myself, even though I'm not.
Yeah.
It's problematic, but it was a way to just be yeah, fuck it, man. Who cares? It's punk to fucking kiss your boyfriends, So it's really, I don't know. He was really, he said, he talked about feminism and all that shit. It's really unfortunate. The way that people, I think it's just what happens is it's survivorship bias. It always comes down to survivorship bias.
Yeah,
you got it and you think you deserved it because no one else was good. Because at the same time, you go and meet people all the time and they can't make music as good as you did, or they can't podcast, or they can't do anything as good as you did. So all of a sudden you feel like you get all these special fucking things,
So Trump gave a speech earlier in the week. I think it was Monday.
I say Kurt Cobain. Is his name Kirk or Kurt?
I go it Kirk.
Kurt Cobain.
Kurt
Cobain.
Kurt. Yeah.
Kurt? Being like shutting someone off, being Kurt?
K-U-R-T. Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was Kirk. Captain Kirk.
Kurt Cobain's.
Kurt Cobain's, right. I got this.
So
Drink in my cup.
So this comes after Donald Trump talked about Monday afternoon when Trump emerged from his underground bunker, which, by the way, he was not hiding like a coward. He just happened to have to go down to the bunker and investigate it, do a little inspection, which, presidents do that, dude. They do their inspections on the house. He's,
I mean, I have to take care of my own fucking lawn. I have to I have to go look at all the blooms and be like, well, plant, do you need water, or do I need to straighten this brick? What has to happen?
That's the thing where if he wasn't such a fascist piece of shit, it would be so fun to make fun of that. He couldn't even say, I went down to the bunker because motherfuckers seemed like they might get here. Instead he said, no, there was an inspection scheduled. I was always scheduled to go down to the bunker. That's what I'm going to do. It's what is wrong with you, dude? Why can't you just admit it?
Liar kid in the neighborhood is in charge.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So he gives this speech about turning the military out on us and shit like that. And Chris posts on Facebook, which you won't find it now because he deleted all of his social media.
Yeah, he went private on Twitter and he went private.
No, he
deleted the Twitter and went private on Facebook on his personal.
Yeah, he said, wow, I know many of you can't stand him. However, Trump knocked it out of the park with this speech. He said he recounted that he drove from Waukegan to Seattle and back today and have seen countless fellow Washingtonians on the road. I did not see any violence, but a Tesla supercharging station at an Auburn mall was closed off by police. Driving, I passed by regular folks.
Wait, that's violence? Shutting off the Tesla station?
Yeah.
God damn you, I can't get home now.
I drive by regular folks who are also stressed by COVID. Now social media and television are looping images of societal breakdown. Well, that's because it's happening.
Yeah, we're reporting on what's going on.
The Nirvana basis... Oh, wait, here it is. While Novoselic acknowledged that Trump should not be sending troops into states and he legally might not be able to anyway, the Nirvana basis lauded Trump's tone as strong and direct. The Nirvana basis then pointed to leftist insurrection as further evidence of how polarized the country have become. Imagine if so-called patriot militias were raising this kind of hell. They were! Like 3 weeks ago, my dude! 3 weeks ago!
They literally took over the state houses in some places and no one shot them with a pepper ball or a fucking concussion grenade in the face.
Yeah.
They're aiming at the face when they use these weapons. The knee knockers are becoming face blasters.
Yeah, he said, imagine if so-called patriot militias were raising this kind of hell. If this were the case, left-wing people would welcome federal intervention. That's not true. Left-wing
take
people
them down.
Are the ones they attack with the most vigor.
That's
you
true.
know what
That's
I
pretty
mean?
much why they're around.
Yeah, they attack us way more than any. Again, the militias. Like, what a dumb fucking guy, you know? Most Americans want peace in their communities, and President Trump spoke to this desire. Never mind the legal details that few understand. Trump said he would go stop the violence, and this speaks to many. What a fucking dumb man this guy is. In response to comments to his initial post, Novoselic reiterated that his Facebook page is not a parody account and certainly not a partisan echo chamber. I prefer to think for myself, thank you. He also said he voted for Gary Johnson in the 2016 presidential election.
So brave.
Yeah, so then he bravely deleted his Twitter and made his Facebook private, which is...
Yeah, I mean, those people should never... Just because someone's good at the bass guitar does not mean...
He wasn't even good at the bass guitar, though. He just got lucky.
Yeah.
He had talented friends.
Yeah, that's true.
Is what ended up happening.
He got swept up in a moment.
Yeah, exactly. He just happened to be the guy going doom, 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 doom on his bass while fucking he was working with two musical geniuses.
Yeah.
I mean, there is a... I don't believe in the meritocracy, but I do believe that if you were in Nirvana, you should... Dave Grohl somehow made it.
Oh, yeah.
Too. Like,
bigger.
Yeah.
Bigger than Nirvana.
I know. I was thinking about it, and it's like, when you look at a list of rock bands, like rock and roll, the cornball canon list of greatest rock bands... Nirvana's probably like right there in the top 5 for most people. You should be able to make a whole career out of just that, you know, moving on to the next thing.
Not really, though, actually, because no band, like, not a lot of side projects make it as big as their original band. It's really hard
Dave Grohl was able to pull it off.
He's a unique. He's an enigma.
Every single one of the Beatles were able to pull it off.
Foo Fighters, no, they didn't.
Yeah, they did. All of them had solo careers. Every one of them had successful solo careers.
That's not making a new band to make new music with people. That's people sucking them off because they're the Beatles.
Yeah. I mean, he did make a band with some of the guys from Sublime.
Who?
Chris Novoselic.
Oh, gross.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that Foo Fighters is the AC/DC of the 90s.
Yeah.
I think that they are our AC/DC in that they are constant and everywhere, and that they drive me nuts when I fucking hear them.
Yeah, I hate them.
And people think it's like hard rock when it's the most gentle shit I've ever heard. It should be a lullaby.
Yeah, I agree. I hate it. So, I think that's the show this week.
Well, I want to
hit
pitch you
as
my
much
plan.
as we could. Brett's going to pitch his plan.
Here's what I think. You ready?
Yeah.
We need to, everybody, advance to your downtown area. Get the police to quit. Get the government to quit. Take over the state house. What we will have is a Columbus membership card, which means we will require that you offer up 4 hours a day, 5 days a week. You would go downtown to the state house. You'll sign up for work. We'll get you on a CODA bus to go pick vegetables, rebuild neighborhoods in underserved areas. And we will create a system where if you are a member of Columbus and you get a full share, you can go to the grocery store, you can go to concerts, you have full access to everything that exists in Columbus. Nothing restricts you anymore. Now, there will be all kinds of, we'll make exceptions for people that can't get a full share, but for everybody downtown that has all that time to waste, we can put them in North Linden and we can put them in underserved communities and direct all the money from new developments into rebuilding and refurbishing the communities that are there. And we will no longer need money or cash. Facebook will become free book marketplace where the things that we own will just be made completely available after we're done with them. There will be no more negotiating. You're not going to buy a new speaker for $250 and then 6 months later sell it for $175 and feel like you lost $75. When you're done with it, you're done with it, and the next person down the line is ready to go. There is everything in place to make all of this work, and everyone down there knows what the fuck is up because they aren't relying on anybody else but themselves, and they've been living that way forever. And all of the broke people that have been disenfranchised and forgotten by this society, we have so much power together to make something that's completely incredible, to make something that's never been seen before. And the pathway is in front of us right now.
Hey.
Right?
Good job. Yeah.
Columbus card, right?
I mean,
makes
we'll
sense.
Just sort that stuff out later, but I think we can do something like that.
Yeah.
It seems like the truth to me, and I said this earlier in the week on Facebook, because that's another thing with me is like I cannot quit posting on Facebook when shit like this happens. Like, I always feel like if I'm on Twitter, it's like, you're preaching to the converted. If you're on Facebook, you're making your family mad.
Yep, exactly. And the thing about it is that we do live on a lot of us live on Facebook, and especially the older people. And for the most part, I've given up a lot of the Facebook fighting. I don't think it means a goddamn thing. But at moments when it does, it is the time to do it. And I have had very little pushback. I haven't had anybody come and get to me. And I've been really accusatory, and I've been, I've talked about my police experiences,
I feel like me and you are we're such an inconvenience to our families that I foresee a time where me and you just have to spend the holidays together because we already do.
That's what we've done. Yeah, second family is a real thing.
Yeah,
family is real.
I don't know what my parents think about all this, but I don't think they have good thoughts about it. My aunt, was a cop, and she once said, "Hey, Brian, can you take it easy on the police?" And I said, "No, everybody else does."
Yeah.
I'm not doing that. I just said no right to her. And
now's the time to flush them.
Yeah. So I think my parents, I remember when they got very mad at me because I asked for Ice Cube's album and they thought that was Body Count with Cop Killer.
Sure.
And they yelled at me, "How do you think that makes them feel?" And then it made me feel guilty for a period of time. And now I always think fuck it, I don't care. They fucking have a Corvette collection. Why the fuck would I even care about their feelings at all at that point?
Yeah.
They're fucking...
I'm not concerned.
Making a ton of money bashing people's skulls in and lying to people about what drugs will do to you.
Yeah, you made your own decisions.
Yeah, so I don't know what my parents probably don't have great opinions. I even posted about this online. They used to call the police on me and Jason all the fucking time. So
I want to say, I know she doesn't listen, but and I don't know if I want to report it. I can't report it as confirmed news, but I think my mom has come around.
No way.
I mean, over the last couple years, she's kind of just said to me, there's been times when there was protests before, like when we went to Pikeville and stuff, as she said, ever since you were a little kid, you used to get in trouble for causing fights and stuff because you stood up for somebody, and you've always been somebody that does that kind of thing. And so I know that's what you do. And so, the first, I think it was Friday, the second night of looting and crisis, and people were just going nuts. And we went to the protest, and, it was just fucked up, violence everywhere. She sent me a text message that said, "Hey, I still got this from when you were a kid. I guess things don't change." and it's a picture in the shed of a men working sign that I stole. It's a big orange metal sign, like one of those like guys digging in the ground sign. And it didn't say like, I think you should burn everything down or like I'm a communist. I think it was just like a tacit understanding of why I feel the way I do and like an acceptance. I think that's what it is. I feel even the change you sent to our dad chat with our local dads. You sent a poll that said that the majority of people were okay with the Minneapolis 3rd Precinct being burned down, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And so that we're at a moment, and I think that what I found and what I said when I came back, that is like, as long as you're not okay, as long as you're okay with fucking broke people, you're fine. Like if you're at the protests, you're fine. But when the mob comes to the suburbs, if you weren't down there and no one can vouch for you, your head might get pulled off its shoulders and no one cares, right? Because like this is a reckoning that we've had to have for centuries, and I came from this shit. I came from being an 8-year-old that was stealing to make money to get other things that I wanted. I felt that I had to steal and cheat and lie to get ahead because nothing came easy to me as a young man. And I grew up alongside of a lot of folks that I know are dead or in jail now because they're black.
Yeah.
And my daughter goes to a school in Columbus, Ohio that is severely underfunded and overpopulated, and they have the teachers that are just so dedicated to do what they do, and they're spending more money on preparing a jail cell for my kids' classmates than they are preparing them to be a part of the Columbus card carrying society where there's no money and we rebuild areas, you know?
Yeah.
They have nothing to offer except for violence and more oppression. They are no longer our leaders. They are no longer anyone we need. It's not the time to ever question it. That it's double down time. We have a fucking 11. I've said it before. We have an 11.
Okay.
In blackjack.
Good job.
You have to double down.
I don't think I can do anything better than that.
Sure.
So let's end the fucking show.
Thanks for listening to Street Fight. We love all y'all. We will see you at the protests. I'm going to work on other things. Please get in contact with me through some sort of encrypted means. I'd love to keep the conversation going and figure out how this can be sparked into the world that we all want to see. Let's spread this mess across the U.S. We're doing it the best. Peace.